John, would you do the invocation, please?
Bow with me, please. Our gracious Heavenly Father, bless thank you for this day, and that we can come together and do your business for the Cherokee people, and put your hand over all those suffering overseas with the earthquake and the tsunami, and be with those and be with our soldiers overseas, that you might keep them out of harm's way, and be with their families here at home, and bless our leaders, that we might always lift you up. In Jesus' name we pray. Amen.
Roll call, please.
Curtis Snell,
Here.
Chris Oak, Bill England,
Honey.
Bill John Baker,
Here.
Jack Baker, Harley Buzzard,
Here.
Julia Coates,
Here.
Bradley Cobb, Joe Crittenden,
Here.
Jody Fishinghawk, here, Meredith Fraley, Wright, here, Don Garvin, Chuck Costigan Jr.,
Here.
Tanya Glory Jordan,
Present.
David Thornton, Kara Cowan Watts,
Honey.
John Masters. We do have a quorum.
Mr. Chair,
Yes.
I just announced, I talked to John Masters this morning, and he's still not at 100%. He's having problems with his eyes, and he thinks he may have some surgery on him. And he wanted to let everybody know in the committee how much he missed coming down here. Shirley did bake some cookies and stuff for us to eat on today, so I told her how we all appreciated that, and we look forward to that stuff every month. So, and she likes doing it, but John is improving every day, so hopefully he'll get to come back to our meeting next month. Thank you, Mr. Chair.
Thank you, Harry.
Sure.
Yes, sir.
And you brought the cookies from her?
Yes, I did, yes.
It looked like there's only about half as many as usual.
Well, I had to snack
Like the approval of the February 14th minutes.
Second.
Second discussion. All in favor?
Aye.
All opposed? Motion carries. Moving on down to the reports. Management resources. Andrew is good. We have somebody do the report.
Mr. Chairman?
Yes, sir. This one.
Angie is out of pocket, but I'd be happy to try and answer any questions you might have from her report.
Do you have any questions? Yes, Joe.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. No questions about the report, but you all probably saw some of the parks and things that are fixing to close in the state. And one of them's over in Adair County. And I was just wondering if some of our folks might, if the tribe might be interested in looking at some of those to maybe work out something with the cities and take them over maybe, or help run them, or buy them, or whatever. Just a thought.
Mr. Chairman, and Mr. Crittenden, thank you for that question. There was some discussion about that earlier today. Mr. Gwynn had some discussion with different folks on that. The properties are owned by the municipalities, so the state doesn't own the property, so it would be, and his understanding was the municipalities wanted to keep those open, and so they're working with the state. We have engaged in some discussion, but I believe that the municipalities are looking to work with the state on that right now.
Can I follow up?
Yes, sir.
And Paula, that's great. I mean, if they stay open.
Right.
I personally know a lot about the one there in Stillwell. A lot of our people, the youngsters, get a lot of exercise and fresh air out there, playing ball and softball and first one thing and another. And I'd like to see it stay open is what I'm trying to say. So, okay.
And our understanding that was the local folks' wishes as well. So they're looking to work that out with the state and what have you. But they do own that property, not the state.
Okay. Thank you.
Yes, Harry.
And just follow on the same line as that, like Uchi Park. I thought that was owned by the city of Tulsa. I could be wrong.
I think so. One of them he did rattle off was owned by Tulsa municipality.
Maybe there's some misunderstanding. I don't think it's a state-owned park. I think it's owned by the city of Tulsa. So anyway, that, we want to follow up on that to see if we can do something with it.
The state, the city owns the property. The state was running the operation.
Okay, I don't know how that is down there. I just thought the city of Tulsa owned all that land in there and was operated by the city. But anyway, we need to check on it.
Okay. Will do.
Councilman Thornton?
Yes, I think that, I can't remember quite how many state parks there are in the state. It seems like there was 56. And I think there's one state park owned by the state. Most of them's Corps of Engineers or municipalities, something of that nature. But Ms. Fulbright and I are, we're kind of worried about Sallisaw State Park, so we're going to look into that also.
Well, I know our natural resource department has been in some communication with the local municipalities and the state. But at this time, it didn't appear that they needed our assistance or was asking for our assistance.
Okay.
What's that diplomat?
I'll refer mine over to Ms. Fulbright. I know she has more.
We are having a public forum hosted by the Cherokee Nation at Blue Ribbon Downs Conference Room on March the 29th on a Tuesday evening at 6 o'clock, and we've invited the city officials from Sallisaw, since they actually own the land where the park is, and the state officials and our county commissioners, plus tribal officials. And I've been in touch with Angela Drews. She said she was trying to get the information on exactly how much it costs to operate the parks and how much money they were generating, and so we're all trying to work something out to keep our parks open. So everybody's invited to our big meeting down there, public and you.
I don't know how many FTEs they have, but I know that they were planning on taking their FTEs and transferring them over to other parks where they wouldn't lose their jobs. And also, I know that park takes in about $37,000 a year, and it also takes about $25,000 other than the FTEs to run it. So it's actually paying for itself to be run, but that's excluding the FTEs. Thank you.
Councilman Buzzer?
Paul, I've got a couple more questions real quick. One thing that I had mentioned to, I think Pat Gwynn knows about this, there was some rumors, and I guess maybe it's true, that they were going to build like 10 more chicken houses on the Leach Road coming out of Kenwood to Twin Oaks. And he checked on it because I thought it had joined the Cherokee Nation Trust Land. I understand it didn't, but I'd like to have a follow-up on that. Pat, if you can check that.
Hey, grab a pencil. So I write that down, Mr. Budget. 10 chicken houses.
Yeah, and I don't know where it is right now, whether they're going to go ahead and do it or what, but it concerned me because we
Did
already
you say
have.
at Twin Oaks?
Pardon me?
Twin Oaks or somewhere?
On Leach Road, yeah. And we already have probably 50 in that area up there, and another 10 is certainly going to impact us strongly in that particular area up there. The other thing that I've noticed is we're fixing to lease the restaurant at Cherokee to be finalized through C&B. I want us to check on to see who does the inspections for those restaurants. Now, the Environmental Health Program here at the Nation, I know, does inspections for the Head Start centers, some of the other restaurants, but I want to make sure that they're engaged in the procedures on how the restaurant is run over here. Prior to this, I don't think we had that type of inspection or an agreement with our environmental programs. I don't know if the state come in and did it, but I know some of the state inspections, like at Will Rogers Downs, I would feel more comfortable if we have our people doing the inspections also.
I don't have an answer for that, Mr. Buzzer, but I will follow up and get you that answer. But my understanding is that would be under our authority, so I would assume internally we're regulating that.
The way I remember working at Will Rogers Downs, since it was fee property yet, the state of Oklahoma still had jurisdiction over those inspections, but I really don't feel like the state is giving a thorough inspection of it. I feel like, our people need to be in there inspecting, because we certainly don't want the thing that happened in Locust Grove, pardon me there, but happened at our casinos and the other place, so we really need to be on top of the inspections of that.
Appreciate that, and I'll get this to the right folks to get you the answer.
And I'd like to yield a little bit of time to Ms. Fishing Hawk. She
I was
said,
going to tell you, up at Will Rogers Downs, it's state because it's fee, but we adopted, the reason I know is because of the restaurant business when I talk about it, is we adopted the State Department of Health. I mean, we adopted everything, just copied and pasted it, and we do all the restaurants on all our land. Ourselves doing it's off the state.
and I understand that we did do them, but I just want to ensure that we cover this one over here when the lease goes forward.
Will do.
Okay, thank you.
I'll get you an answer.
More questions?
If I may, Mr. Chairman, I have a couple of follow-ups. Councilwoman Fishing Hawk had in the last month's committee in regard to some Nahasta monies and acreage and how many houses have been built, et cetera. I've got some handwritten notes. Mr. Gwynn planned to be here, but he got a last-minute call for a 4 o'clock meeting, so I'm kind of a substitute. And if you don't mind, I'd like to get this, typed up so we can send it to you, if that'd be okay. Because I'm like handwritten notes, and I don't want to tell you, misinform you, and I've already forgotten.
I'm curious, what took it a month?
I asked him, I did a follow-up with him this morning. It just one of those things that I think fell through the crack from the last meeting. So we did a follow-up to make sure everybody had responded. And so he hurriedly dug that information up for me. And at the same time, we thought that Mr. Evans was compiling the information. So our bad, but we hurriedly got it together for you, and we'll get it typed up and get it over to you.
Okay.
Okay?
Any more questions? Thank you, ma'am.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman.
Moving on down to real estate services, Linda Donaldson.
Good afternoon. I believe you have my report in your packet. One of the things that we are coming up to is our 5-year grazing cycle, and it's going to be one of the resolutions on our that's going to be on for today. And one thing that we wanted to mention was that we are wanting to add to this time a lessee preference, so that if you're a current lessee, we want to allow them a preference that if their bid is within 10% of the highest bid, that they'd be able to keep the tract, but they'd have to match that bid. And they would also have to be in compliance on their lease, and they will not have any bad checks, not have been late on their payments. And if they've been a good lessee, then we want to allow them a lease preference.
Yes, sir.
Now, can you repeat that first part again? If they're within 10% of the
10% of the highest bid, then they might be able to keep that unit.
Do they need to match the highest?
Yes,
bid?
they have to match the highest bid. It's the same thing with Cherokee preference, you would have to match the highest bid. So,
If the person that has one, because I'm thinking, I know what this is going to bring up with one of my people. If the person that has it's a non-native, blue card holder, and they have it, have the
Right.
property, will they get to keep, will they get first dibs? Anybody will get first dibs that has the land?
they,
Or have a preference with the 10%, or it's just Cherokees
the,
that hold the land right now?
okay, if a Cherokee bids and they decide that they don't want to match the highest bid, then if the other one, see, the Cherokee is going to be above the lessee, so. You could be the Cherokee and still say, I'm going to match the highest bid, but if he backs off and there is a non-Cherokee that was the former lessee and he can match the highest bid, and then he might be able to retain that unit. It's just a way of trying to reward some of the lessees that if they've been a really good lessee, and they will also treat the land better if they know that they have it longer, so that they will try to fertilize it more, and they'll try to maintain weed control more if they know that they're going to be the ones that keeps it a longer period of time. So that's what we're looking on that aspect of it. The bids packets will be going out this week to all of our list of people who want to be on the bid cycle. There are 82 tracts that will be offered, and This is a copy of the bid page. And I don't know if anybody wants to have a copy of this, but we will give anybody who wants a copy, we'll email it over if you want to do that. So just go ahead and email it. I'll just email it to Gail and she can disseminate it out to you. But that's one of the major things that we're getting ready to start on. Our bid opening will be April 28th at 1 o'clock. We're going to offer a lunch, so if anyone wants to attend, they can do that. Okay, and I think we had two things on our trust tracks that that's going to be on as resolutions, and I wanted to add Kara Cowan Watts on as a sponsor for the one in Collinsville, and Joe Crittenden on the one for Roland.
Can I do that?
Okay, and
I want to be added to the one for Roland.
and Janelle wants to be on for the one for Roland too.
Ms. Harley?
Linda, I had a quick question. I had a guy ask about the leases on our land.
Yes.
If they lease them for 5 years and he gets into the lease at a 3-year, then he says, I want to get out of my lease, is there a charge for him to get out of the lease?
We haven't been charging, and it's getting to be kind of bad on some of that. And we understand where a lot of it's coming from, but for the most part, when we have had some released back, we've actually gotten more money when we rebid it out again.
Yeah.
So it just depends on how that goes. But I noticed that for the last 3 years, we have actually made money when somebody's turned it back and we rebid it.
Well, I think some of them, they buy a bunch of cattle when they're a good price and they run them for 2 years and sell, and then they don't want the lease anymore. So
Yeah.
I've been asked that question. So
And-
and it's just kind of like on a that is what the answer would be then.
Yeah, it is. It just kind of depends on which track they have and how much it's going to cost us to do something different.
That's fine. Thank you.
Okay.
Any
other
questions for
questions?
Linda? Yes, Ms. Harley?
I just have a quick question on these Alati files scanned and organized. What were the, I mean, were they just in were they in the registration office or?
No, these are the ones that in Realty our vault. These are the original Alati records that have to do with all the lands that were divided out, given out to the restricted landowners. It's just the restricted files and.
This may be, I know this is a question not just for you, but for other people, but has there been some discussion, and you may feel free to jump in if you want some time, has there been some discussion about getting all of these together in the same place in some kind of a, because I know we have things scattered in different areas, and I know we're doing as best we can to do what you've done with these, but has there been any discussion about having these in the same place or having them in some kind of a historical vault? Or I'm just curious from your perspective, from the real estate side of it, if you...
There has been talk about centralizing a lot of the records that have to do with real estate. And for the most part, the Realty office has most of the records, but there are still some that are still out there. A lot of them that were done 10 years or more ago, those may be in some admin files, and we're trying to pull those out now to try to find out where all of the records are, because we knew of some transactions that were Realty related, and we don't have the records. So it's been thought that they were in some of the administration files that went down to the warehouse, and so we're trying to obtain a lot of those records now to try to consolidate more of those records.
Okay, thank you.
You're welcome.
Any more questions for Linda? Thank you, ma'am.
Okay, thank you.
Moving on down to environmental programs, Tom Elkins.
Good afternoon. Still caneless. You should have our report in front of you, I hope. The only thing I imagine I would bring up is our percentages. We're at our 5th month and we're a little over or right under 50% of our goals for the year. Again, those are just estimates, from the previous year, so we have 0 radon activity. What we used to have is a radon program that actually came through the Environmental Protection Agency, but the match got to the point where it was an in-kind match. We didn't have to have a cash match, but it was so high, it took a lot of our activity getting the match. So the radon canisters that we give out to citizens cost us little, if nothing. So rather than even have a radon program, we just purchase those, and as people request them, we give them to them, or if there's a really big issue, we go out to their homes. But generally, we don't even have an EPA program. Now, that's changing this next year, and we may apply for that. If you look through your agenda, we have probably 6 or 8 resolutions for programs that come up every year tonight, and I'll ask when those come up, if they are passed, I would ask that a couple of those go to full council, but it's pretty much what we have, just status quo this last month.
Any questions for Tom?
Okay, thank you.
Moving on down to old business, I see none. Moving down to new business. Item number 1.
Move for approval.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. Moving on down to item number 2. Kara, you have item number 2 through 7.
Move to approve items 2 through 7 if there is no objection.
Item 2 through 7.
Just
2
one
through
question.
7, yes.
None of them involve any money, right, Kara? I mean, it's in kind what we're offering as our part.
From what I recall correctly, I was originally going to go through each one of them and have my notes not in one place.
I
they're
think I've
separated.
looked and
I don't recall any.
Yes.
No, sir, there's no cap.
It's all in-kind match.
Okay.
Do any of these need to come tonight, of these?
Well, I was gonna ask that number 5 and number 6, 034 and 035, if they are approved, if those could at least go to full council.
Number 11, 34, 11, 35.
Yes, sir.
So the motions for 2 through 7 to be approved, with 5 and 6 to go to full council for consideration, with a motion to amend the agenda tonight.
And I will agree with that.
Okay.
Do I have a second on that?
I will second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed, same sign. Motion carries. Thank you, Kara. Moving on down to item number 8. Bill, John, you have 8 through 10. Time.
As she already, Linda already mentioned, this is to open the way for them to negotiate the lease lands, and then it's also to put some land in trust that the Cherokee Nation owns. So I'd make a motion to approve 8 through 10.
Second.
Made motion, second. Any discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
All opposed? Motion carries. Yes, Tom.
I just want to make sure, Linda, do you need any of these to go tonight?
No, they're not urgent.
Okay, okay. Thank you.
Moving on down to item number 11. Buell?
Yes. Thank you, Mr. Chairman. I would like to move to put this resolution forward to add the Victory Cherokee land in trust, the 40 acres, more or less, in Collinsville. And I'd also like to add Brad Cobb as a sponsor.
Okay.
Second.
Second.
Any discussion?
Ready to. Got a motion, is that? Unless I want to.
All in favor?
Aye.
All opposed? Motion carried. Item number 12, Mr. Thornton.
This resolution to put some more land in trust from the Road and Truck Plaza and Hotel, consisting of 8.12 acres for the Truck Plaza and 3.27 acres from the hotel. Make a motion. Second.
Any discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
All opposed? Motion carries. Moving on down to item number 13, Councilman Hoskins.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Mr. Chairman, this resolution will resolve a property dispute. Linda can probably speak to it better than I can, but my understanding, the nation has an interest in some property owned by a family in Veneta. That interest arising because that property had previously been owned by a railroad. It does appear to the administration that this resolution, which would involve us, I think, retaining some mineral interest, but otherwise giving up title is in our best interest. I agree and move for its approval.
Second.
Move to second. All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Yes, Linda?
We would like this to be moved up to 2 full council nights.
Objection.
All opposed? Jody, you opposed it or?
Oh, no,
Question?
no, I have a question, you finish.
Motion carries. Jody, you're up.
Yeah, I was wanting to know if anybody, last month in committee, we talked about the Hard Rock and the Keep Siegel, and I think Pat said, no, we're taking care of it with our attorneys or meet with people from Washington. Well, I think Curtis, maybe you and Dinah went ahead and paid for the room up at the Hard Rock and everything. And I think, how many people showed up of our citizens? 250?
About that.
On a 3-day notice.
Mr. Chairman?
Yes.
Mr. Gwynn did follow up, and he has several citizens have contacted him, and he's put them in touch with the attorneys that are walking folks through it, educating folks. He's been in contact with USDA, so he has helped several Cherokee citizens individually. So we're working on that on a daily basis, but he continues to work with those folks
What I want
who
to
need
point out is
information.
for $100, how many of our citizens showed up that people thought we didn't need to do this?
Not sure I can respond to that because I'm not sure aware of what you're referencing.
Well, we asked about the room, and I think we talked to admin, talked to CNE and everybody, and they said, no, we're handling it. We asked you all in committee, no, we're taking care of it. We're meeting with the,
And
they was given about 3 days' notice, and 250 of our citizens showed up wanting to know something. They kept bringing in chairs.
That's good, and we are continuing to work with our citizens. I mean, the more information that can get out there, I think is a good thing. So we are working with them, and citizens are being, their questions are being answered, and we're assisting them in every way we can.
Okay. I just, like I said, I was wanting to point out that they didn't take much money, but people wouldn't do it. I just don't understand.
Again, I have to say I'm not familiar with what you're referencing. I did see Mr. Snell, the chairman, in Tulsa that night, and so I was aware that there was a meeting going on, and he said it was a large crowd. So good. Cherokees are getting answers, and so anywhere they turn, they can get assistance from us. So happy to help. Thank you.
Councilor Watts?
Thank you. I'm confused because when I was in DC, I actually met the consultant that did that meeting and said Joe Bird hosted it and he was involved. So I don't know what really happened, but that's interesting because, and she handed me a card, so I'll follow up. I mean, I'm confused about who did what, I guess, if that's so important. But I do look forward to, because apparently they are the ones, these consultants or this group that's hired by the lawyers, are the ones that are tasked with implementing the lawsuit settlement, which they, I guess, can choose to involve us or not involve us. So,
That's my understanding as well. Each time the attorneys respond to a citizen or such, they get a fee or something, but yes, you're right. It's part of that settlement for them to reach out to folks and make sure that folks get information, such as the meeting that the chairman attended. So, yes, it's a matter of educating folks and answering all their questions.
Council Lady Watts, or, excuse me, Commissioner Hall.
I was about to say, I think Joe is probably involved because Joe's a Cherokee citizen. I don't think, maybe some people don't know that, but he's one of our members. Joe is.
I'm aware of that.
Okay. I thought you might be. But yes, he's a Cherokee citizen. That's probably why he's involved.
Well, I'll tell you how I got involved. I had a phone call from a lawyer and asked, I'd worked on this several times, and I asked if I could get a room at the Hard Rock. And I said, I probably can, yes. So I called and made arrangements, got the room and everything. And called them back and told them, yeah, and set up everything. And that's where I stopped at, you know, till I got up there at night and had to break up another 150 chairs.
Just as long as it wasn't cash. Just a chair. Thank you, Mr. Chairman.
Thank you, Bob. Moving on down, there, the announcements.
Mr. Chairman, I have a few discussion items if you all would like to have these prior to.
Sure. Yes. Mr. Fishing Hawk, you got a...
The point I was trying to make was we was too cheap to spend $100 on people. I was trying to make. I'll just put it out there.
We'll spend it.
Okay? I will put it out there. We were too cheap to spend $100. Okay, and Curtis wasn't, they spent the money and him was.
Any more announcements? Next meeting will be Monday, April 11th.
Something.
4 p.m. Make a motion to adjourn.
Second.
Got a motion and a second to adjourn. Adjourn. All in favor?
Aye.
Well, you handed that.